All right, so I want to take a couple minutes and just go over the review before you start your second review for the Chapter 4 test. So the side, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side is all new, and we've been using that quite a bit. However, we've been using that lately. Some of the stuff that's on this test was actually in first semester, so it has been a minute. So let's start with number one. Number one actually starts off with something pretty tricky right off the bat. We have two different sized isosceles triangles, and they want me to find the vertex of this isosceles triangle. Well, we don't know anything about this triangle, none of the angles. All I know is that this angle is going to be congruent to this angle because this is congruent to this here. All right, so now, if this is 65, okay, I have an isosceles triangle here. This has to be 65. Base angles are congruent. Now, what can I say about these two here? Okay, these are vertical angles. So if this is 65, then this is 65. So I finally found out information about this triangle here on the left, so I'm going to redraw this. We have a 65-degree angle here, and we already said that it was going to be congruent to this right here. So 65 and 65 is 130. So x has to be 180 minus 130. X up here has to be 50 degrees. Okay, so that's problem number one. Problem number two. So the pink numbers that I have on this sheet go with the formative numbers. All right, let me pull up my calculator. Okay, so now I want to find the vertex angle and one of the base angles here. So 2 is going to be my x, 3 is going to be my y. Now they give me this information on the outside. This is 110. So this line forms 180 degrees. So if this is 110, this is 70. Well, that means right away that the other base angle is 70. So y is equal to 70 degrees. Now I have 70 and 70. Add those together, I get 140. So 180 minus 140 tells me that x has to be 40 degrees. Here, they want us to find angle D. This is an isosceles triangle turned around. So if I face it this way, here's my isosceles triangle. This leg is congruent to this leg. So I know the angle D is congruent to angle E. Now there's one on your test very, very similar to this. These two are congruent, and I know this one right here is 116. So if I take 180 and subtract out 116, I am left with 64 degrees. Now, does that mean each of these are 64 degrees? No, because if I did 64, 64, and 116, that would be too much. So what's going on is I have 64 degrees that needs to be split up evenly two ways. So I'm going to divide that by 2, and I find the angle D is 32, and angle 3E is 32. So the answer to that one is